Hello there, you guys. Welcome to the first ever Talking Takeover pay-per-view review here on the Wrestle Dude channel. Here today we are reviewing NXT Takeover Philadelphia from January 27th, 2018 at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am your host, the Wrestle Dude, Jacob here, and we have quite a bit to get into here. But I do want to start out by saying if you want to support this review show, this is for every NXT Takeover event that's taking place in 2018. So if you want to hear more of this, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. All the links should be on my channel. And if you want to support this podcast or video cast, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a Patreon or anything, so really just the only way that you could support it is just by spreading it around. Any fans that are a fan of wrestling, or more importantly, are fans of NXT, tell them to check out the podcast or video cast. I still have to figure out which one of which that is. But anyways, we're going to get right into it here. NXT Takeover Philadelphia. I actually got home kind of late, so I was only able to catch the last two matches live. I had to go back and watch the other matches like immediately after the pay-per-view ended, so I was up until maybe like 2 in the morning watching NXT Takeover Philadelphia, which actually was not a bad thing, and you'll understand why when I start talking about it here. But anyways, speaking of which, first thing of note here, not match-wise, is that Nigel McGuinness was not on commentary tonight. Apparently he was sick, under the weather, so hopefully he'll be back soon. Although it was a nice breath of fresh air to get like a two-man commentary team for once, just to have Percy Watson and Mauro Ronaldo, which, by the way, Mauro Ronaldo, like, he had some great commentary moments tonight, and I have one of them specifically written down just because it was like so early in the show. But anyways, our first matchup of the night was the Authors of Pain versus the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team titles. This is my first note of this match. When the Authors of Pain came out, I noticed the Authors of Pain, they got some new swag. They got those cool little beanies on their head, which ultimately makes me think like this is probably like their send-off match. They're probably going to the main roster soon, since they're getting all this like merch and stuff. I mean, I know NXT stars get merch, but I'm just saying, like, when a superstar or superstars get like all this kind of merch, that usually means that they're pretty close to be getting called up, which I would not mind seeing the Authors of Pain. I don't know whether I'd want to see him on SmackDown or Raw. You guys let me know. Would you rather see Authors of Pain on SmackDown or Raw? Anyways, this was the commentary line that I liked from Mauro. He said, the Authors of Pain are hungry. They don't need to look at the menu. They already know what they want. Fish, or they want the catch of the day, Fish and O'Reilly. I thought that was very funny, and it was just really good. I just had to write it down. If you go back and watch it, it sounds a whole lot better than how I put it. Okay, so Undisputed Era came out. They were in the middle of the entrance, and the Authors of Pain attacked them before the bell, playing into that sense of like the Authors of Pain. They want their titles back. They've been saying that for several weeks now. Paul Ellery couldn't even hold them back, so they just attacked him before the bell. They really did play up the feeling like they hate each other, like, and it was really good. And it's really hard to do that with like a heel versus heel team. It's kind of like how we had it. It was the triple threat tag team titles matchup, DIY versus the Revival versus the Authors of Pain. And when DIY got eliminated, we had this weird like heel versus heel thing. Not a lot of people liked that, but I certainly liked this because they made it more divided. That way you could cheer one team and boo the other, and really, it really came down to one moment in the match, and I'll get to that. So we had the heels versus heels. Where is it? Kyle O'Reilly got one of the Authors of Pain in a triangle choke, but the Authors of Pain broke it up. Bobby Fish got crushed by the Authors of Pain, and then O'Reilly, we get flapjack by another one of the Authors of Pain. The Undisputed Era tried to leave, but the Authors of Pain stopped them. They were up by the rampway. They stopped him from leaving and brought him back into the ring. Bobby Fish tried to get into the ring, or no, not Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. This was a funny spot. O'Reilly like climbed up onto the apron and like started like stumbling around, and he ultimately just like tripped and fell off. Kind of like that old like Ric Flair spot where he would like fall forward onto his face, except he fell off the apron right onto his face, which got a little bit of laughter from the crowd. I like that. They added like a little bit of comedy. I feel like Kyle O'Reilly is like the member of the Undisputed Era that makes like GIF moments. Like first it was like in War Games where he like swung the steel chair, it hit the ropes, and then it came back and hit him in the head. And now we have this like that's two of them. If a third one happens, then I'm really gonna. Actually, there was a third one on this night when he was coming down to the ring. He was like playing his tag team title like it was a guitar. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyways, Bobby Fish, he got pulled out of the ring and like slammed right into the barricade. Authors of Pain did a side slam and big boot combo, and this is where that lucky moment in the match came. Akam, who tagged in, he delivered the big boot. He stumbled when he came down off the top or the second rope and was grabbing his leg, which ultimately set up a seemingly like leg injury, which at first I thought it was real until the Undisputed Era started attacking that leg, which ultimately made me think, wait, well, oh, that's just part of the match then. But for a second there, they had me. So yeah, Bobby Fish, he kept kicking the leg. There was a huge fall out of the ring. Bobby Fish like tackled one of the Authors of Pain out of the ring to like keep him away from his tag team partner. That was pretty cool. Kyle O'Reilly with some stiff shots. We had Bobby Fish with some stiff kicks to the legs. We had O'Reilly back in with a knee bar on Akam. This was a really smart injury because a lot of people were wondering how they were going to do the Authors of Pain versus Undisputed Era. When the Authors of Pain are such big guys, this was the best way to do it. Have like this sort of injury with his leg. That way they can't exactly do some of their more power spots. So Bobby Fish hits Razor, which just completely takes off Razor, and then he turns around and gets a back body drop from Akam. Akam tags in Razor, and Razor hits a nice fall-away slam, and Bobby Fish had a sleeper hold on his back, so when he fall-away slammed O'Reilly, he did a back body drop onto Fish. And then we had a power bomb reversed into a clutch, but ultimately Razor was able to flip him out of it. We had a stiff knee strike from Kyle O'Reilly. We had double lariats, and both men got taken down from that. And at this point, both Authors of Pain had hurt legs, which I did find pretty cool. But in the end, Authors of Pain tried to go for the final chapter. I can't remember who. Oh, there it is. O'Reilly got an ankle lock on one of the Authors of Pain, while at the same time Fish got the other Author of Pain in a hold, but Razor dumped Fish onto O'Reilly to break it up. And then we had dueling Undisputed Era versus Authors of Pain chants, which was really good. I liked that. This crowd had a lot of good chants tonight. We had a capture overhead suplex from the Undisputed Era. And then we had one hell of a clothesline to Bobby Fish. And then we had a buckle bomb by, I believe, Razor. Bobby Fish ran back in, but Razor stopped him by delivering a big boot. And in the end, the Authors of Pain tried to go for the Super Collider, only to be stopped by Undisputed Era, stopping it from happening. One of the Authors of Pain got thrown into the other, knocking them out of the ring. Kyle O'Reilly rolled up, I believe, Akam, got a quick roll-up pin and the win, and the Undisputed Era retained the NXT Tag Team titles. This was a really good opener. It had some really good spots. I liked how they used this injury to kind of keep the Authors of Pain looking strong against Undisputed Era, despite there being the size advantage. It had a really interesting finish. This is not the first time that we will see that roll-up pin come into play tonight, although they were used in good ways tonight. Normally a lot of people get mad about the roll-up pin being used, but I think it was used very well tonight, and this was a great opening match. Alright, and coming up next, we have Kassius Ohno versus the Velveteen Dream. And this actually stemmed from something I wasn't sure why this match got put on the card, and then I looked it up, and I thought it was a pretty ingenious way. It was immediately after Velveteen Dream lost to Johnny Gargano. He went to the back, and Kassius Ohno said to him, like, I told you it wouldn't be that easy. And then Velveteen Dream basically said, like, I could make it easier than you. I think he was kind of implying that Kassius Ohno was fat, which is very rude, but I mean, at least it was a good way to set up the feud rather than, like, oh, I don't know, maybe like a WrestleMania match based on a shampoo commercial. But anyways, this was a very good match. I want to start off. This was the first note that I had from this matchup. War Machine, the new tag team that was signed to NXT, they were in the crowd. Kind of weird not seeing with them with face paint. I never really watched a lot of Ring of Honor, so I went back and watched a couple War Machine matches. They had a hell of a lot of great matches. I'm interested to see what they can do in NXT. But there was another little bit that I guess was on the pre-show, which I didn't watch the pre-show. Like I said, I was at work. But Velveteen Dream promised that he would knock out Kassius Ohno in 30 seconds. So we had a little bit of storytelling in this matchup, and that'll come into play later. In the Velveteen Dream's entrance, he was dressed up like he had like boxing gear on, and he had ringside assistants. He had like this lady and this guy holding a pillow with a purple mouth guard, and I actually thought this was going to kind of play into the whole knockout in 30 seconds thing. I thought the mouth guard would have like a secret brass knuckle in it. That's why I thought it looked kind of weird in his mouth. Like I felt like it was like filling up his mouth too much. I figured like he had like a fake, like a hollowed out piece of it that had like a brass knuck in it, and he would like take it out when the referee's not looking and knock out Kassius Ohno. But then again, I feel like we didn't need a squash match on a takeover event, so I'm really glad they didn't go that route now. Um, Anyways, I thought the mouthpiece and the ringside assistants were brilliant, especially considering how Velveteen Dream was working here. Kassius Ohno came out. He was wearing some custom gear with like a boxing robe. Velveteen Dream, we open up the matchup. Dream's delivering these like huge shots, and the crowd, they're counting this 30-second thing. Like I said, remember that. The crowd were counting down the first 30 seconds, and Velveteen Dream, he's punching in Kassius in the corner. And ultimately, he punches Kassius and gets knocked down, and the crowd go crazy like they're watching a boxing match, which I thought was pretty smart. And Velveteen Dream, he's telling the referee, like, check on him, count him 10. I was like, and I was watching this, I was like, wait a minute, can they call off the match if he's kind of knocked out? Like, I mean, if that's the case, then every guy that Kassius Ohno's in the ring with should be classified as knocked out, considering he's the knockout artist. Um, but it was just really great. Dream was celebrating until Cassius got back to his feet. Ohno delivers a stiff elbow and knocks the mouthpiece off. Piece off. That was really good. First stumble of the podcast. Hopefully that's our last. We had some good back and forth. Ohno came back into the ring, and Dream hit a nice spine buster, which really looked like he got some elevation on that. Dream with some boxing shots, which was really cool. Something that I noticed in this matchup. Dream wrestled a different style than he did against Aleister Black at the previous TakeOver event. He was acting more like in a boxing matchup here, more appropriate considering the attire that he was wearing. He was seemingly trying to be like a boxer type, but really different than what we saw against Aleister Black. Aleister Black was more of like flaunting, taunting, stuff like that. And it's really cool that he can change styles like that. I even have here on my notes, Dream adapting to styles, which I thought was really cool. We had some submission holds. Dream was working over Kassius Ohno. Something that I kind of picked up on here, Velveteen Dream, like every time he was going to punch Kassius Ohno, he would scream at him to quit. This kind of just angered Kassius Ohno. We got a chin lock from the ground. Kassius Ohno was able to get him up into an electric chair. I thought he was going to try and go for that electric chair discus elbow, but to no avail. Velveteen Dream stayed on it. Kassius Ohno just ate a kick and like didn't even phase him. Dream from off the top rope with a double axe handle for a 2 count. Fireman's carry. Kassius Ohno was able to fight out, although Velveteen Dream was able to get Ohno into a suplex, but it was ultimately reversed by Kassius Ohno, doing that like suplex flip out move that he does. We had some back and forth shots, a comeback sequence from Kassius Ohno. big cyclone kick for a 2 count, super kick from Velveteen Dream, and they tried to do that like kind of Sister Abigail DDT thing that they did with Aleister Black at Takeover, but it was kind of botched. Which I'll give them that. I give people one botch per match, only one. So all you Sin Cara fans out there, you better pay attention to that. So we had a mid-air big boot, which I thought was really good, which got Velveteen Dream into position for Kassius Ohno's, I guess, new finisher, that high-tension elbow. But when he went in and jumped, Velveteen Dream caught him into a Death Valley driver so close to the ropes, too. I wouldn't necessarily call this a botch. I would just call this more of like they were just too close to the ropes and kind of they had to make do with what space they had. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a botch. So technically we still only have one botch, depending on what your definition of a botch is. But anyways, Death Valley Driver for a 2 count. Kassius Ohno hit a nice ripcord elbow. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like the Rainmaker or Seth Rollins' old knee finisher where he like spins him around, except he hit him with an elbow to the face. We had another elbow attempt, this time into another cartwheel Death Valley Driver, and then Velveteen Dream would go up to the top rope and hit the Purple Rainmaker elbow for the win. He didn't hit it from the top rope. He hit it from the top of like the ring post where like they have that wider ring post. So I thought that was a pretty cool touch, them implementing that. But yeah, this matchup was all that it needed to be. If I had to say, I would feel like this is maybe Kassius Ohno's maybe I'd say second to last match in NXT. I don't feel like they would go out on this because the last that we saw of him was him like going up the rampway. So like I don't think they would do that. But then again, we had a Ty Dillinger in the Royal Rumble last year, so there is no saying no at this point to any NXT call-ups. So it'll be pretty cool to see if Kassius Ohno will be in the Royal Rumble. I like him. He's an Ohio native. Got to root for my Ohioans. Or what do we get called? Buckeyes. Yeah, gotta root for the Buckeyes. Coming up next, we had the NXT Women's Championship matchup. It was Ember Moon defending her NXT Women's Championship against #1 contender Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, one of my first notes here, Shayna Baszler sort of got this like Goldberg walk to the ring. Like they played her music, which I don't know if I really like the whole like horse noise at the beginning of it. I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be like the signaling for like the four horsewomen of MMA, but I feel like we can do something with that little like pause. Maybe we need to get Ollie Davis to like do the Kingslayer for that little pause right there. We need something for that little emptiness. But she got like a Goldberg walk to the ring. The camera tracked her coming from the back to the ring, which I actually liked. It kind of separates her from the rest of the women's division. Ember Moon came out. She was cool as always. The camera, like when the lights came up, it like showed her face. It did like a pretty cool like up close face shot, which I thought was kind of cool, which I really hope that they use in like a promo package somewhere, because I don't know why I love promo packages. Like if they can sell me on a match, it's by using a promo package, and NXT never ceases to amaze me with their promo packages, especially that Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream promo package. That was great. The cinematography on that was amazing. So we had Ember Moon coming to the ring. She screamed at Shayna Baszler. Opening up the matchup, we had some corner face scrubbing from Shayna Baszler to Ember Moon. Baszler did a nice takedown, MMA style battle in the beginning. Ember Moon came back with 3 consecutive drop kicks to the face of Shayna Baszler, but Baszler rolled out of the ring, trying to collect herself on the outside, only for Ember Moon to hit a big dive and take her out on the outside. Ember Moon tried the springboard elbow that she does right before she goes for the Eclipse, but Shayna Baszler countered it, and Shayna Baszler hit some nice stiff kicks, got her down for only a 2 count. And from here, this is where it started acting more like a fight or an MMA match more than a WWE match. We had the spot where she, basically the same thing she did to Dakota Kai, where she like grabbed her arm, bent it, and stomped on it, kind of like bringing it out of place. And I don't know if they're actually hurting their arms on this, or if there's a way to do that safely, because I've looked at like the Dakota Kai one several times to see like if there's any way to do that safely, and every time it just looks like she's like dislocated her arm or something. So if there is a way that they do that safely, good on them, because the last thing we need is people getting injured. But at the same time, if there's a move like that that makes it look like they get injured but they don't really get injured, I would definitely keep that as one of her main moves. But we had that arm stomp, and from here, Shayna Baszler just targeted that arm, kept trying to put her in submission holds. Just we had some what is it? Like Pete Dunne, joint manipulation. That's what we had. The kind of thing that Pete Dunne does with like the fingers, except Shayna Baszler was doing it more with like the wrist, the arm, the shoulder. Ember Moon ultimately came back. She slapped Shayna Baszler. We had a one-armed comeback sequence. Ember Moon hit the Eclipse, but she hit the Eclipse with her bad arm, so she was not good enough to make the cover. And Baszler, she's out in the other side of the ring, and Ember Moon, she's being attended to by medical staff. And from here, I thought they were going to end the matchup just as a way to keep both women like not looking like weak at all, which even if one of these women lost, like I feel like it wouldn't make them look weak. I just feel like it would play into like that sense of like Ember Moon barely made it out, but we still got that kind of sequence. But Ember Moon, she's the defiant babyface. She kept going at it, and this kind of reminded me when Shayna Baszler was targeting her arm, and I really wish they would have kept this up on commentary, although I don't know if it was the same arm. I do remember Ember Moon had that arm injury last year that kept her out of an NXT Championship match with Asuka, and I really wish they would have brought that up. Like, Ember Moon has had a history with like arm injuries. If they did, and I just don't remember, let me know in the comments. But I did kind of think that would be a pretty cool thing that would play into this. Anyways, Shayna Baszler locked Ember Moon in an armbar. Ember Moon kept trying to go for the ropes, but Shayna would try to like pull her back in, just get her right back into that armbar. Ember Moon, there were several times like this where I thought the match was going to end with Shayna Baszler making her tap out, but ultimately it ended up being Ember Moon who just rolled her up. She got a tight roll-up pin. There's that roll-up pin again. But the way that she got this roll-up pin looked ultimately so deep that even if Shayna tried to kick out, she would not be able to kick out, which I thought was really good. And it really does play into that sense of like, well, Shayna Baszler, she hasn't been in WWE or professional wrestling that long, from what I understand, so she doesn't really know about like the pinfall aspect for it. She's more focused on like the submissions and like the knockouts, I guess, type of deal. So she's more focused on getting that submission on Ember Moon. She got caught in a pin, and she wasn't able to kick out, and so Ember Moon retains the NXT Women's Championship. But as she was going up the rampway with an already injured arm, Shayna Baszler ran out of the ring and choked her out. And something that I had to put from this, like literally before the choke, Ember Moon was like surrounded like by a referee and two medical staff. When Shayna Baszler came up and choked her out, literally that referee and the two medical staff just stood there and watched it. Like, I know after like a second or two, like they called for security, but seriously, like it's three guys and one girl, and you still can't do anything like pull her off. Like, seriously, like all if she's choking her, all you have to do, one of you grab one arm that's around her neck, the other grab the other arm and just pull them out, so that way she's not choking her. Like, literally, you don't need five other referees, and you didn't even do a good job then. So that was just really like my only pet peeve with like that moment. But this match is exactly what it needed to be. I feel like both women come out of this not like being used wrong. Shayna Baszler, she just barely lost. Ember Moon barely won. And I watched the backstage stuff that they did with Ember Moon afterwards, and Ember Moon kind of playing like a little like heelish. Like she kept trying to get asked like, "How's your arm?" One of the medical staff asked her like, "Hey, do you want me to carry your title for you?" She wouldn't say anything. She just had like these angry faces or angry looks on her face, which I'm pretty interested to see what that's gonna lead to. But yeah, this matchup was really good. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon now. I don't know who you think would be the next number one contender for the Women's Championship. I don't know. Maybe Bianca Belair? But we'll have to see in the coming weeks on NXT. Alright, so coming up next, we had Aleister Black versus Adam Cole in an Extreme Rules match. This is where I started to get to watch the pay-per-view live, and this was really good. I'm really glad this was the matchup that I get to start off with, because I was really hoping that I didn't miss this matchup. Of all the matches, like even the main event, sorry to all of you guys that were fans of that, this was the match that I was looking forward to the most, just because I'm a huge Aleister Black fan ever since he came to NXT. He has like one of my favorite finishers, favorite theme songs, favorite entrance, a lot of favorites here. But this was one of my favorite matches of the night. There was no match on this show that disappointed me at all. But this was the one that I feel like gave me the most satisfaction. Gargano versus Almas, I'll get to that. But we're going to start off here. Adam Cole, as soon as the bell rang, we had some back and forth. Aleister Black did like that fake out moonsault attempt into the crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap. Adam Cole was on the outside, and as soon as Aleister sat down, Adam Cole was like, "Screw this! This is Extreme Rules. I'm getting weapons." And he friggin' went to the timekeeper's area, grabbed a steel chair, and went into the ring, tried to swing it at Aleister Black. Black ducked it, did a kip up, and knocked it out of his hands. Adam Cole once again went out of the ring. Aleister Black grabbed the chair, didn't use the chair. He sat down in it and made Adam Cole come back into the ring. And ultimately, he took the chair and threw it out of the ring. Adam Cole was intrigued. I was intrigued as well. But Aleister Black, he said he doesn't need weapons. He is the weapon. And that is actually something that played into it here. Aleister Black, from what I understand, or from what I saw, he never swung a weapon in this match. He did use weapons, but he never swung like anything. He never swung like a steel chair. Uh, but Adam Cole, he got Aleister Black down. Aleister Black, they did a spot where both men grabbed a kendo stick, and Adam Cole, he kept his. Aleister Black threw his down, and Adam Cole looked at him like, "Oh, you are stupid." But in the end, Aleister Black did come down. He tried to do another one of those like moonsaults, and in midair, Adam Cole hit him with the kendo stick, and oh my god, it looked like it hurt. And I'm sure it did. Kendo sticks, it's no joke. But that kept Aleister Black down. Adam Cole, we had like table chants from the crowd, so Adam Cole obliged. He went under the ring and he got a table. Aleister Black, he tried. Adam Cole, he tried to suplex Aleister Black through the table, and Aleister Black countered, and he tossed Cole through a trash can. He kind of missed the trash can, but I mean, it's easier to aim for something big like a table rather than to aim for a trash can. Like, I mean, if you watch like that no holds barred match from SummerSlam with Randy Orton and Christian, like in order for Christian to go through that trash can with the DDT, Christian had to grab the trash can to make sure it didn't roll away. So with trash cans, it's kind of harder to do spots with them that are like innovative rather than just doing like the trash can over the head or like sticking the trash can over them and like hitting them with the hit him with a chair or something like that. But I don't fault them on missing the trash can by that much. But anyways, Aleister Black gets another table, sets it up right next to the other table, and then this is where I thought things were gonna get good, and I was right. Aleister Black grabs a ladder from under the ring, and when you see these Extreme Rules matches compared to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view that went past last year, this one match had more weapons in just one match rather than that entire pay-per-view had. Like in that Extreme Rules pay-per-view last year, like the only weapons that were used in the main event were like steel chairs, steel stairs, and the announcer's table, I believe. I don't think there was any other weapon that got used in that matchup, which is why I really liked this matchup. And when Aleister Black grabbed this chair, this is where I started to notice Adam Cole had like this cut on his hand, and I don't know where he got cut on his hand. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments, because I've been trying to figure out, like, I watched the matchup back again, and I could not find any areas to where, like, he would have cut his hand. So I am very interested to see how the heck that happened, because he was bleeding pretty good. Anyways, Aleister Black attempted to Adam Cole looked to suplex Black into the ladder. Adam Cole hit him with a big kick. Cole got Aleister Black into the corner, did like the corner mount. He was punching him. He did like the Adam Cole baby thing, and I thought they were gonna do like a running power bomb into the ladder, but that's ultimately not what happened. It ended up being Aleister Black getting him into an electric chair drop, and instead of falling backwards where Aleister Black himself would land onto the ladder, he did like a forward throw, and Adam Cole landed onto the ladder, and I thought that was really innovative. and it looked like it hurt really bad at the same time. So it had a good mixture of like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened, and oh my god, I can't believe they did something smart like that, doing it like a different way. But man, I felt bad from Adam Cole. After this, the medical personnel came in to check on Adam Cole's hand and seemingly his back. The crowd booed that. I mean, yeah, we're not gonna boo healthy people. Boo. But I mean, I get it. I know it happened once before at Takeover Dallas with Samoa Joe. I wouldn't have wanted it to happen here anyways. So we had a chair sequence. Very good back and forth with the chairs. We had a nice kicking sequence. Adam Cole, he got taken down by Aleister Black, who put a steel chair, he unfolded a steel chair, put Adam Cole's head on it, and it goes up to the top rope to hit like a double foot stomp, or like a curb stomp, through the chair, through Adam Cole's head. Adam Cole picks up the chair, tosses it up to Aleister Black. Black catches it, and Adam Cole super kicks the steel chair. Aleister Black falls back through both tables, and at this point, I forgot the tables were there. So that was a nice surprise. And when it happened, I was like, oh my god, he just hit the floor. And then I was like, no wait, he went through tables. Oh my god. And it was one of the first times of the night that I kind of like screamed a little. And I'm not one to scream, but when I watch NXT, it's the one thing that like makes me freak out, like, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that. But this is one of those moments. I thought that was really good. We got Adam Cole got him back into the ring, but seemingly only for a 2 count. We had some more back and forth with the steel chairs. Adam Cole, he got the chairs like he unfolded 2 chairs and put them like back to back, so like the pointy parts were like facing each other instead of like turning them inside out. And Aleister Black, he was about to get slammed onto them, but Aleister Black countered it. He got him into a fireman's carry, and Death Valley drove him onto the chairs. And this was one of the parts of the matchup where I thought the match was going to end, just because, like, when Adam Cole came down, like, if you watch it back, he was screaming so loud. Like, I feel like I thought he was paralyzed at that point, because I don't really think he was moving around his legs that much. He was just kind of like grabbing his back. And I mean, as crazy it is to think that he could have been paralyzed, like that spot really, like it really did look like he got paralyzed from it. And the moment was made even better, and it really makes you think about how good Adam Cole did as a heel here. We had the crowd chanting, "You deserve it," getting slammed onto the ladder, or onto the chairs. We had the crowd chanting, "You deserve it," which was really good. And then Adam Cole, he tried to block Aleister Black with the chair, and I thought this was going to be the point where the match would end with Aleister Black hitting a black mass with Adam Cole with the chair in his face. But no, it was a callback to War Games where Adam Cole won with a sliding knee with the steel chair on Eric Young. Aleister Black hit a sliding knee with a steel chair on Adam Cole. He went for the pinfall, but the Undisputed Era came out all bruised and bandaged up from their matchup with the Authors of Pain, really playing up like how brutal that opening matchup was. They brought Aleister Black over to the announcer's table. There was like an equipment box next to the announcer's table that O'Reilly was going to suplex Aleister Black through the table with, but Sanity came out and stopped them. And Eric Young, sporting a new bald look here, that was something that I noticed. Alexander Wolf, the MVP of War Games, back from injury. Really good to see them back. Killian Dane, he was in the ring keeping Adam Cole at bay. And he looked at all the people that were up on the rampway, and he went and did a dive. And this is something that I really liked. It was like a small detail, one of those like blink and you miss it kind of deals. But many people wonder why, like when people get into like these big groups, like tag teams fighting each other, and then one of them like does a dive and like they take out their own tag team partners. Like, why are they so stupid as to do that? Here, it actually made sense, because if you go back and watch it, Eric Young and Alexander Wolf, they like hold Fish and O'Reilly back, and before you see Killian Dane do the dive, if you look at Alexander Wolf, he motions his hand like, yeah, bring it, do a dive, we can take it. And I thought that was really good. Just one of those kind of like blink and you miss it type of deals. But Adam Cole, he tried to go for a suplex back into the ring. He tried to go for a suplex onto Aleister Black. But Black counters and does like a big double foot stomp. This was through the announcer's table. Aleister Black was still on the equipment box, and Cole looked to capitalize. And I thought it was going to be one of those spots where Black pushes him and he just falls to the table, but I thought this was even better because he like kicked him off and then he did like a coup de grace style double foot stomp and he went through the tables. I just really thought that was an innovative spot. What else is it here? Oh, right. He tosses Adam Cole back into the ring, and Aleister Black tries to go through the ropes, only to eat a super kick. Aleister Black is down. Adam Cole grabs the steel chair. He runs in. He tries to hit him with the steel chair, but Aleister Black hits Black Mass and gets the win. That was really an out of nowhere finish, which I really like that they're building up that Black Mass kick as like a move that can be hit out of nowhere, much like Randy Orton's RKO. I really feel like that's going to come into play once he eventually becomes NXT champion, which I really think it will be Aleister Black challenging for the NXT Championship next. It'll be really interesting to see where they go with like Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era from now on. I feel like they're gonna transition them into that Sanity uh, rivalry again. I don't know if they will take that all the way to New Orleans, though. But it will be really cool to see where Aleister Black goes from here. Like I said, he's one of my favorite wrestlers in NXT, and it'll just be very, very interesting and very fun for me to see where he goes from here. So that was really my personal match of the night, just because I like Aleister Black so much, and I have a very big smile when it comes to these like no disqualification stipulations, just to see how creative they can get with it. And then we had the main event: Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano Wrestling, or is it Johnny Wrestling Gargano? I don't know. I'll have to check his birth certificate. Um, my my first note from this: EC3 in the crowd. Many people were thinking that he was going to go like straight to the main roster, but apparently he has also been signed to the NXT brand. I feel like he's going to be taking up more of like that Bobby Roode-ish role. I don't know if they're going to go full like snobby heel thing, but it's interesting that they called him EC3 and not Derek Bateman. I don't know if they're going to do like any kind of storyline around that. Something that I came up with, and I thought in my head how they could name him EC3. Do it like this: Derek Bateman leaves NXT and he goes on, he wrestles around the world, and he ends up finding out that he has a lost heritage from a Carter family. It doesn't have to be like Dixie Carter or anything. Um, and basically, that's your whole story of like why he's called Ethan Carter now. Like he finds his old lineage and he wants to represent that old lineage. Maybe he gets like a lot of money from that. That's why he's all rich and snobby now. That's an interesting way to get out that Derek Bateman character and bring in this new EC3 character. If he is going to NXT, there's no telling if he's ultimately going to stay in NXT. This could just be a swerve. He could go right to the main roster still. He could be in the Royal Rumble tonight. I don't know. I would have to see at the Royal Rumble tonight. I am filming this before the Royal Rumble, so we'll have to see. We had a great opening package, great promo for this. If you find it on YouTube, I definitely encourage you to go and watch it back. It was really good. Andrade Cien Almas, he had his entrance, custom entrance for NXT Takeover. Very, very good here. We had a mariachi band with some masks on. Almas had his own mask on. He had like a custom outfit, colors of Mexico. Zelina Vega came out. She was wearing like this hot little red outfit. Um, and Johnny Gargano came out. He was wearing custom ring gear, which I couldn't decide whether it was an homage, because I know he said on Twitter earlier that day like it was um, homaging like a Marvel superhero, and I couldn't figure out which superhero it was. I either landed on Deadpool or Star Lord. So it was either Deadpool or Star Lord. And we had Candice Larae, another signee of NXT, in the crowd here, and now playing to something that happens on later on. But in the opening of this matchup, we had a great opening sequence, really playing into the fact that like these guys have faced each other several times before. I don't think really in the commentary anywhere I didn't hear them mention that they had faced off against each other before, which I kind of liked that we weren't really getting that like thrown in our face. Like, yes, we know we followed NXT, we know that they've faced each other several times before, but it's nice to know that we didn't have to be like have that like thrown in our face. Like, hey, they've watched each other before. Watch the WWE Network. Please watch the WWE Network. But I really like that they didn't have to remind us about that. We had Andrade going for a DDT attempt. Gargano countered, tried to go for the Gargano escape attempt, and almost slid out of the ring. We had some more back and forth. We had even more back and forth going on outside. Gargano did like that move where he like slips up onto the apron and like his opponent tries to grab his legs and he like hops up, and he did it twice, and he kicked Almas, went and tried to do like a rolling senton off the apron and almost moved out of the way and landed like right smack dab onto the mat. And we had a shot of Candice Larae looking. There was a couple of those, not too many. I really wouldn't want them to focus this matchup. As good as a match this was, I didn't want it to like be focusing on like Candice like looking at her hurt husband. I feel like that might have been one of the things that dragged down some of Candice's matches in the Mae Young Classic, was just kind of like whenever there was like a big spot or a big move or something, they would like cut to Gargano in the crowd. But ultimately, if that was bad, they learned from their mistake here, and they didn't do it that much, which I really liked. We had a Dragon Sleeper, almost used the ropes to apply a Dragon Sleeper to Gargano, which I thought was very innovative. Gargano fought back, though, hit a nice roll-through kick that we've seen several times before. But Andrade would not be deterred. He got him back, got back into control, and set up Gargano for like a double foot stomp from off the top rope in a Tree of Woe position. Gargano was able to counter it. He got out and hit a big belly-to-belly throw. We had a nice comeback sequence. We had a middle rope complete shot. Gargano hit like a second rope complete shot. If you don't know what a complete shot is, it's like R-Truth's finisher or Shelton Benjamin's old finisher, like the Little Jimmy. Look it up, you'll know what I mean. But it looked really good, especially the way that they landed. Like, none of them looked like they botched it at all. And we had a really cool sequence. Andrade, he did like that. I called it a spider grab, like where he like grabs the ropes and like he just kind of like sits there and like taunts. But he didn't taunt. He just like grabbed the ropes and like he slid out. Gargano like slid out onto the apron, shoved back Almas. Almas went off the ropes and came back and hit a big slingshot spear. I thought that was really cool. Gargano tried to go for the Hurricane Rana that would ultimately turn into the Gargano escape, but Almas able to counter it, and he hit like a bangerang type move and planted Gargano into the mat. Almas went to the top rope and tried to do a moonsault. Gargano moved out of the way and almost rolled through and did a standing moonsault, much like he did in his matchup against Tye Dillinger at NXT Takeover The End, I believe, which was really cool. We had some back and forth elbow strikes. We had a super kick, stiff clotheslines. No man would fall down for a while. They kept trying to hit him with lariats, but both men were standing up, but ultimately both of them fell down. Andrade tried to do like the top rope DDT that he tried to do against Drew McIntyre, but he was able to counter. Gargano countered and got almost into like a package super kick where like he had his head like contorted into the turnbuckle and he like super kicked him. I believe we've also seen something like that in like a Tye Dillinger matchup. I think it actually might have been in the one against Almas, but I believe when he did it with Tye Dillinger and Almas, Almas was like up straight, kind of like Jack Gallagher does when he like gets his feet up straight up into the air on the ropes. I believe that is how they did it in that matchup. But this was still a really good spot. And Gargano tried to do like a sunset flip powerbomb, almost flipped and landed on his feet, and hit double knees into the corner. He ran and tried to do another set of knees, but Gargano countered. He got out onto the apron and tried to do the slingshot spear again, almost countered, and hit a knee and a face buster, and then almost got him up onto the second rope and hit a second rope spinning reverse DDT, which was a really great sequence. It led to a 2 count, only a 2 count, and the crowd were crazy for this, and I love takeover crowds. Ultimately, I put this in my notes. Put here, I love takeover crowds just because they put so much emphasis into like, just like I know the Solid Monster. He does his podcast, more professional than mine's really. He talked about like the matchup between Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. The crowd chanted and did a standing ovation for an airplane spin. Like you cannot get that kind of love for wrestling any more than places at like a takeover event, especially with WWE like products. But it was just really good. Almost tried to go for the hammerlock DDT on the apron. Gargano countered, got back into the ring, and he looked at the apron and looked at the crowd, and he was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna do this!" And he jumps out and he hits a freaking slingshot DDT, the same slingshot DDT he used to become number one contender in the Fatal 4-Way. He hits it onto the apron, but Gargano gets him back into the ring, and he tries to apply that Gargano escape. And Gargano, he's too tired to use that Gargano escape. Almost is able to get out using a jawbreaker. We had some back elbows, driving Johnny into the corner. Almost tried to do the knees. And Gargano hits him with a huge flipping clothesline, made almost, like I said, flip inside out, and he gets him up and hits him with that big lawn dart into the corner. And Johnny tries to do like the super kick in the corner. Vega grabs his foot and distracts him a little bit. We had a small package here. I really thought the match could have ended on that small package, but I feel like it kind of would have cheated, especially considering we've already seen two small package finishes tonight. We didn't need another one, but they were able to get out. He rolled through again. Gargano hits that big super kick, DIY style super kick, but only for a 2 count, and that popped the crowd really big. Johnny Gargano, he went to the top rope, although almost cut him off, and he did the double foot stomp onto the apron, and then afterwards he would like take his head, almost took Johnny's head and like slammed it into the LED board a couple of times, which really played into the finish. I really liked that. And then he did the double knees into the corner. It was only for a 2 count though. Gargano, he did like some tired punches. He was like getting up to his feet, and ultimately he was able to come back. He hit a big super kick, spinning almost around, and hit that inverted Hurricane Rana, landing right on his head, and Gargano applied the Gargano escape. Andrade tried to escape, and he almost tried to like grab the ropes, and Gargano would just like flip back and roll through, like try to get him away from the ropes even more. Zelina Vega stopped it. She got almost to the ropes, and in that moment when the referee was trying to get Vega out of the way, Cien almost raked Gargano's eyes, almost tried to go for the DDT, only for it to be countered. Andrade went over the top rope, and Johnny hit a big dive to the outside, taking out Almas, tossed him back into the ring, and as the referee was kind of checking on Almas, Zelina Vega got up into the apron, did a Hurricane Rana, and sent Johnny headfirst into the steel stairs, getting into the matchup again. A lot of heat here from the crowd. Vega got him into the ring, almost hit that hammerlock DDT. I thought that was going to be the finish right there, but no, Almas was not going to win right now. Gargano kicked out at 2, and Gargano rolled out of the ring, and Zelina Vega went around the ring to try and attack Johnny again, but Candice Larae jumped over the apron and spear tackled Zelina and stopped the attack from going on. They battled through the crowd into the back somewhere. The crowd chanted, "Thank you, Candice." Gargano hit another slingshot DDT, this time into the ring, applied the Gargano escape again. Almost got the rope break, this time rolled to the outside. They did some battling onto the apron. Gargano sent him into the ring post. So Gargano is like sitting down onto the apron, his back and his head, remember that, his back and his head are up against the ring post, and almost runs on the apron and delivers those double knees into the head of Gargano, and the back of his head goes right into the ring post, and really I'm surprised they didn't like end it there with like a storyline concussion thing, because really a lot of the moves that Johnny took in this matchup really looked like he could have gotten a legit concussion. Like we definitely throughout the match they were comparing him to Daniel Bryan. I'm pretty sure if they did any more moves like this, I'm pretty sure we would be seeing a Daniel Bryan situation like that. But thankfully, from what I hear right now, there is no concussions, so we got to figure that out. But almost he hit that draping DDT from off the top rope that he used to win the title, and he uses it to retain here tonight at Takeover. And following the matchup, Zelina Vega, she got back into the ring from her brawl with Candice Larae. She really kind of sold it. Like she got attacked. She was like checking her lip to see if she was like bleeding or anything. Almas and her left, leaving Gargano and Candice in the ring. I thought, since we didn't see Candice, it was kind of playing into what I thought was going to happen, which would be like in the middle of the match, which would lead to Almas retaining. I always thought Almas was going to retain. It was just a matter of like how. I didn't know if he was going to have it be done clean or like have a distraction from Ciampa, which I thought was going to happen. I thought, since Candice wasn't out there at the time, I thought what was going to happen was Ciampa would appear on the Titantron, and then the camera would like pan over, and it would show that he has like kidnapped or woman napped Candice, and that would like kind of play into like Johnny like going after Ciampa after that. But I had no problem with how the match ended. Really, I really liked this match. It went on for a long time. I really felt like, I think it maybe might have went like over half an hour. I did not check. I would be surprised if it didn't go over half an hour, because there was way too much stuff in this matchup to have not gone over half an hour, maybe even like 40 minutes, I'd say. A lot of people are comparing this to Omega Okada. I don't know if I kind of fall into that boat. I feel like I'd probably have to watch both matches back once, like each time, because I feel like kind of what took away from like the experience of watching this match was just that I had to take notes just for this. I really feel like the first time I watched the matchup, I should have just watched the matchup and then watched it again to take my notes. So that's probably something that I'll have to do for the next Takeover review show when they come to what is it? New Orleans. I was about to say Orlando. I was like, they're already based in Orlando. But Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, they go up to the top of the stage. They kind of look around. Gargano's just a little sad. He's got like blood on his mouth, like dried up blood. He's like had like one heck of a match. And they do like the end credits thing. The match and the show is over. And they freaking do it again. They give us the old fake out, and you know what happens? My heart gets crushed, Gargano's dreams get crushed, and the fans get freaked out because Ciampa is back. I don't know if he's in wrestling capacity yet, but he hits Gargano in the back with a freaking crutch. And Candice is there. She's consoling Johnny. Freaking Ciampa, he had like a big ass beard, and like I think he has like a new shirt or something like that, because on the back of it, like I read that it said like "This is my moment." I don't know if that's his new T-shirt, if like it's something custom made just for himself. But I can't believe they legit got me again with the end credit thing. And then when the crowd, like, they started like the crowd got like louder, like I looked up from my phone and I just saw Johnny like fall down, and I saw a crutch. I was like, and the camera didn't even pan over yet to show Ciampa. I just saw a crutch. I was like, son of a bitch, they did it again. And I don't know if Ciampa's cleared so that they can have their matchup at Takeover over WrestleMania weekend, but I really hope so. And I really hope if they do, I don't care if, legitimately, I don't care if Aleister Black is facing for the NXT Championship. That matchup needs to be the main event. If they can have the tag team titles in a ladder match be the main event of a takeover event, they can have a grudge match like this that's been going on for like, I think, over a year now. They can have this matchup be the main event for once, and I really hope that's what the case is. But all in all, this was a great, great takeover show. I'm really proud that this was my first takeover review show, and if you guys would please like to direct your attention to your screens right now, You guys really thought that image on the screen was just an image, but no, it's actually my green screen. Hey! But yeah, like I said, this was a great show to have my first review show on. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed TakeOver as much as I did. But now we're on to TakeOver over WrestleMania weekend. And if you guys enjoyed this video cast and you enjoyed the review, please let me know in the comment section below and leave a like on the video and share it on social media so that way we can get some more views, we can get some more viewership, and hopefully I can do even more reviews like this. I would like to do a weekly NXT review show, but just given the time that I am right now, I'm not able to do that. So I am really happy that I can do these like takeover review shows for those of you who don't necessarily watch NXT Takeover events, or just those of you who like can't have the WWE Network and need like a play-by-play review of it. I'm really happy that I got to do this. I'm excited for what they're going to do for NXT, and the Royal Rumble has a lot to live up to. So hopefully we get a lot of great stuff in the Royal Rumble tonight. What did you guys think of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia? What was your favorite match, favorite moment, least favorite moment? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. I have been Jacob from the WrestleDude channel, and I'll see you guys on the next review. See ya!